Welcome back to the Next Human Lab podcast. I'm Simon. There's something I've been noticing lately, not in big, dramatic situations, but in very ordinary, everyday moments. Watching how people interact, who speaks more, who listens more, who checks in, and who slowly pulls back. And if you pay attention long enough, you start to see a pattern.
Yeah, and what stands out to me is it's not always visible at first. At the beginning, it can even feel like a good thing, like someone being kind, supportive, always there. But over time, you start to sense something underneath, a kind of quiet exhaustion, like they're giving but not really being met in the same way. And they don't always say it, but you can feel it in how they respond. Less energy, less openness, and sometimes less presence.
Exactly. And that's what we're exploring today. Because relationships don't just depend on connection. They depend on balance. Not perfect balance, but healthy balance. The balance between giving and receiving. And when that balance is off, even slightly, it changes everything.
So far in this series, we've explored why connection feels harder, how to truly understand people, why miscommunication happens, and now we're stepping into something more relational. Because connection is not just about understanding, it's about how energy flows between two people. And that flow is what determines whether a relationship feels easy or draining.
Exactly. So today, we're going to look at something subtle but powerful, the dynamic between giving and receiving. Let's start with something that sounds counterintuitive. Giving is usually seen as a positive thing. Being kind, being supportive, being available. But when giving becomes one-sided, it stops being connection and starts becoming imbalance.
So even something good can become unhealthy if it's not balanced.
Exactly. Because real connection is not about how much you give. It's about whether the connection is mutual.
That really shifts how you look at it.
Here's where it gets deeper. Not all giving comes from a healthy place. Sometimes it comes from fear.
Fear of what?
Fear of losing connection. Fear of not being enough. Fear that if you don't give, you might not be valued. So instead of giving freely, you give to maintain the relationship. And that changes the energy completely.
That explains why giving can feel exhausting after a while.
Now, let's look at the other side. Receiving. Most people don't think about this, but receiving well is a skill.
What do you mean by that?
Some people struggle to receive. They deflect compliments. They feel uncomfortable being supported. They minimize what others give them. And when that happens, the other person feels it, like their effort didn't land.
That's so true. It can feel like your contribution disappears.
Here's something important. When giving is not received or not acknowledged, it turns into resentment. Not immediately, but slowly.
Because it feels like your effort isn't seen?
Exactly. And the longer it goes unspoken, the heavier it becomes.
It's almost like a silent weight in the relationship.
Now let's clarify something. Balance doesn't mean everything is equal all the time.
Because life changes and people go through different phases.
Exactly. Sometimes one person gives more, sometimes the other does. But the key is this, responsiveness. Are both people aware and willing to adjust? That's what keeps the relationship alive.
That flexibility is what makes things sustainable.
Let's bring this into something real. Imagine a friendship where one person always initiates. They check in, they plan, they follow up. And the other person responds, but rarely initiates. At first, it feels normal, but over time, something shifts. The person who gives more starts to feel tired. Not because they don't care, but because the energy is not returned.
And sometimes they don't even talk about it. They just stop trying as much.
Exactly. And that's how relationships fade. Not through conflict, but through imbalance.
It's rarely dramatic, but the effect is real.
And if this is something you've experienced before, that quiet shift in energy, that feeling of giving without being met, then this conversation might be hitting close. If it is, just take a second to like this video. Not for us, but because it helps this kind of conversation reach people who might be feeling the same thing, but don't know how to explain it yet.
It's good to know you're not alone in noticing these patterns.
There's also something internal happening here. When imbalance continues, people start changing how they show up. They give less, they protect more, they stop being as open, and slowly, the connection loses its depth.
That internal shift is easy to overlook, but it changes everything.
Let's look at some practical steps. First, notice your pattern. Ask yourself, do I tend to give more or hold back more? For example, do you always initiate, always adjust, or avoid giving fully?
That awareness is the first step. What about communicating it?
Instead of saying, you never, try, I've been feeling a bit one-sided lately. It's about expressing, not accusing.
That makes it safer for both people to talk about what's happening.
Next, practice receiving fully. Next time someone gives pause, acknowledge it, let it land.
It can feel awkward, but it really deepens the connection.
So today, connection is not just about caring, it's about balance. Here's something to reflect on. Am I allowing relationships to be mutual, or am I overcompensating? In the next episode, we're gonna explore something closely connected to this boundaries and how to say no without breaking connection.
That's going to be an important conversation. I think what stayed with me is realizing that balance is not something that happens automatically. It's something we create through awareness.
Yeah. And when you create that balance, relationships stop feeling draining and start feeling supportive. We'll see you in the next episode.